Everyone, welcome back to Funny Money. My name's Caleb Guilliams.
I'm Dominic Syracuse.
And in today's episode, we're going to be covering a simple, short, yet one of the most impactful, powerful principles. People are like, wait, I want to know this.
Yeah, you know what's weird is that's actually how he describes me, too. He's like
that's how I
short, impactful.
Teeny.
All right. We don't need to get that in depth,
But here's the deal. So one of the things that we're doing is I want to talk about opportunity cost.
Yes.
I think opportunity cost is the most profound aspect to think about our money, and I find that most people have no clue what it is. And so
yeah, I'm one of those people who he's purposefully not told me what opportunity cost is so that we can all learn it together.
That just tells me that you didn't want to read my book.
Moving on, let's go right to the.
So it's like taking back to college days.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
My book's all about opportunity cost.
What is it?
You looked at
What's
the photos.
that thing? Yeah, Spark Notes. I Spark Notes.
Okay, so opportunity cost essentially goes like this: every decision you make has consequences. Okay, I know exactly where your mind went. Dom has a son based off of this principle.
Yes. It turns out
every decision you make has consequences. So let's break this down really, really simply. By you watching this video, you are unable to do certain things. By Dominic being in the studio, he's unable to be other places.
Right.
By me spending money on this phone, my money's not able to do other things.
Right.
Make sense?
Absolutely. Where in order to open one door, you've got to close 100 others. Right.
And when you say yes to something, you have to say no to many other things, and vice versa. When you say no to something, you're ultimately giving you the ability to say yes to others.
I love it.
So when we think about money, this is going to be a really basic video, but it's going to be profound.
Yeah.
Every decision you make with your money has a long-term effect.
Right.
And a short-term effect.
Okay.
We're going to first understand long-term effect. Okay. So do you want to hit up the computer?
Let's do it.
And actually put me in the left corner.
Right here?
Actually,
there?
Let's go over one more. Let's go over.
We can actually just make us dance around.
Okay, right
Watch
there.
this.
That's good. Okay.
All right.
So essentially what's going on is this is the present value calculator. Okay.
Yes.
So we're going to look at a future value. So we're going to say $100. I'm going to bring this over.
All right.
We say you have $100, okay?
Great.
Now we're going to also assume that you spend that money on something, okay?
Yeah.
And we're going to say the interest rate that you could earn, this is the money that you can grow with your money. And we'll say for this example, it's 7%.
7%. Okay.
Meaning if you could invest that money over a long period of time with the right people, you could earn more than 0, and 7% is just the kind of return that your money would get.
Okay.
Make sense?
Sure.
Okay? And then annually, we're just going to look out over, your lifetime. So we're going to say you live another 60 years.
That's great.
Okay.
How old am I? Great. Perfect.
Okay. So essentially what we're doing here is you have $100 today.
Yep.
What is that $100 going to be worth in 60 years from now, assuming that you could earn 7%?
Let's find out.
$5,795.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So this is the principle
Okay.
that we're making here.
Yep.
$100. Your $100 is worth $100 today. Your $100 you could invest in a microphone,
right,
and help you create a channel,
right,
and that channel could make you a lot more than $5,794.
Absolutely.
Make sense? But by making that decision, you understand that you're not just giving up $100, but what that dollar could be worth to you 60 years from now.
Yes.
Make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm not saying don't spend your money. I'm not saying don't invest your money. I'm not saying don't buy your microphone, because those things I know will make you happier, will help you get closer to where you want to go. But when I see $100, I see way more than $100. I have like a curse.
Yes.
And I just, everything that I see opportunity cost.
Oh, I got you. That's great. That's like some kind of multiverse theory. Like you see all the different possible dimensions that could happen from this one kind of thing.
So this is the principle, but I now want to get us depressed a little bit. Okay.
Oh, great.
So how much money did you make last year?
I think like $11.
Okay.
Gosh, I like $50,000.
Okay, let's say $50,000, and for the most part, we were able to save almost nothing.
No, it's absolutely nothing. Okay. If you go back and watch the previous videos, all I talk about is how I was working to still be in debt. I was working every hour of the day just to pick which bill not to pay.
So here's the crazy thing is, if you make $50,000 today, you are going to earn way more than $1 million. If you want to tee me back up.
Let's see.
If you can make $50,000 just in 1 year.
Yes.
In 1 year and over 60 years, that's $2.8 million, dude.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy. That's crazy.
And you're making $50,000. Let's just say you don't make any more money for the next. We'll just say, like, obviously you're not going to make that for 60 years. Maybe
sure.
You might be working for the next 60 years.
Sure.
So
there are those who might be working for the next.
So what I'm saying is, you have potential if you save every single dollar, which we know is not possible right now, to be worth over $46 million.
Sign me up.
Does that math make sense?
Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
Is every time we lose a dollar, we don't just lose that dollar, but we lose what the dollar could be worth to you in the future.
Oh, wow.
Every time you lose money, you don't just lose that money, but you lose what that money could have done for you the rest of your life.
Oh, that's amazing.
I want people to be obsessed around this concept of a long-term picture.
Oh, I love it.
I
love it.
Every decision you make has a short-term consequence. So let's role play here.
Okay.
Let's go back to the $100.
Yep.
Okay. Now $100. Okay. And let's say, so this $100, if invested and you could earn 7% over 60 years, which a lot of people would say is not possible because of a lot of different factors, but let's say that is, it'd be worth $5,000, almost $600.
Okay.
But $5,795.
Got
okay.
it.
Now, if you put that $100 into a microphone, that $100 is gone. Boom.
It's gone.
Boom. It's gone.
Right.
But that microphone could give you the ability to get a gig,
Precisely.
and maybe increase your salary from $50,000 to $60,000.
Absolutely.
Which gives you a whole lot more money to save. Does that make sense?
This is what I live off of. Honestly, I mean, this mindset is my life.
Right.
You know.
But now we finally have a metric on how to make a decision, because it's not just like a gut feeling. By the way, there's a lot of gut feelers that are broke.
Oh yeah.
They just justify. They're like, oh, I can, like, I'm gonna do this credit card debt so I can, like, because it will all turn out. And the reality is it won't.
Right.
And they're not just spending their money, but they're spending what their dollars could be worth in the future.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying just lock up your money and just have it grow, because what you could be doing by trying to get $5,000 in the future, which might not mean much to you, you might be saying no to something that could give you a lot more money that 1 year.
Yes.
I'm a perfect example of this. I grew a business and we have a team. We're making a lot of money serving a lot of people.
Yes.
And it's not because of my ability to invest in my Roth IRA.
Right.
No. It's because I'm super clear on what we need to do. But I know the value. I know when I spend hundreds of thousands of dollars building a team, that's millions of dollars.
Yes.
And I'm only going to make that decision knowing that we can make more than millions of dollars by having an amazing team and solving problems.
Right.
Make sense?
And I'd like to clarify something.
Yep.
Because another problem, we've talked a lot on the show about my debt. And if you want to go back and check out those episodes, go ahead. But one of the things that actually got me to debt that we haven't touched on yet, but I think is really important, is like panic. Mindset, being panicked. And how, you're talking about if someone's like, all right, I've got to put money towards something. When you're in a panic mindset, you can't think clearly to be able to go, all right, I'm going to make this grow. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with me and what I do, my name's Dominic Syracuse. I run a company called Cognitive Behavioral Theater, where I use acting and improv principles to talk about cognitive behavioral therapy, the way the brain works. And one of the biggest things we talk about is when you feel pressured about anything, when there's stress involved, then you get this flooding of cortisol. You get put into fight or flight mode. And when you're in fight or flight mode, all you can think about is solving the problem immediately, solve the problem immediately. And I know me personally, I fell into so much debt because I would get anxious about something. Oh no, how am I going to pay this bill? Oh no, how am I going to make this work? Oh no, how am I going to do this thing for my company? And then I'd make this bad decision and I'd go, oh, it's going to work out in the long run. I know, versus calming down, having clarity. And one of the things that helps with clarity, with that purpose is what you're talking about, having that clarity of what I want and what I'm working towards. I talk all the time about the difference between anxiety and hope. Mm-hmm. And it all actually comes from your imagination. Your imagination means to, in fact, I'll write this down on the little thing. Your imagination means to picture yourself. So when we have an imagination, we're picturing ourselves somewhere, okay? Then if you have anxiety, it's picturing yourself in the worst case scenario.
Yep.
Picturing the worst. If you have hope, you're picturing the best.
Yep.
Okay? Now, so many people live so much right here.
Yep.
They're constantly picturing the worst. They're constantly worrying. They're buying their decisions of what they pay for, where they put their money, goes towards this.
Yep.
That's what I was doing. We talked on the previous episode about, well, I've got to put all my money into retirement, or I've got a son, I've got to put money into his college, I've got to do all this, and also I don't have enough to pay my bills, so I've got to go get more loans, I've got to do all this. But what I hear you saying with opportunity is that you're really looking at, okay, what's the best case scenario? Who am I?
Yeah.
What are my skills? What do I want out of my life specifically? And then once I identify that, I'm going to start investing in that. I'm going to start investing in that. It takes clarity, right?
And I'll just, if you want to put me in the corner also. So it's understanding we understand that this $100 that we have is worth 60 years from now with certain assumptions. It's worth over $5,000.
Right.
Plus.
Right.
Okay. So do we think about this money now differently if we know that this money is worth $5,000 in the future? We will.
Absolutely.
And going back to that hope, going back to what we talked about in earlier, asset-based activity, is asking the question, is me investing in X, Y, or Z going to give me a greater result now and a result in the future? We can't, I just find a lot of people are devaluing themselves and they don't understand opportunity cost. And my hope is that this short video can help you understand that there's a long-term effect to every decision you make.
Right.
You can't get the time back that you just spent watching us.
Right.
And whenever you spend money, you can't get that money back. I don't want you to penny pinch. I just want you to have an understanding that there's a short-term and long-term benefit to your money. And opportunity cost is pretty much saying anytime you make a decision, there's consequences.
Absolutely. And because you watched this video, you just got learned. We
also made up some
hopefully
words.
that blew your mind so much, it made so much sense that now for the rest of your life you have that. You say, you know what, I'm going to change the way I start making decisions. That's going to lead to a multitude of more decisions that are going to lead to more cash flow in the future and all of this stuff. Whereas if you didn't spend the time watching this video, you might have had to learn the hard way.
This video will make you hundreds of thousands of dollars if you understand what I'm talking about.
Right.